Go up where a lot of hippies kind of live. And while he was there, some Indians that he had met and they liked him, they gave him a nice little Krishna. So he thanked him very nicely. He kept that nice little Krishna in his room on a mantle. And then spontaneously one day he just offered some incense, and a few days later some flowers, and then he was doing like a regular puja. Anyway, gradually he left, he went down to southern India, came around, went down like to Karnataka, down to Kerala, across to Tamil Nadu, up to Madras, eventually to Calcutta, and then he saw the devotees chanting on the streets. He was a long-haired hippie from London. So he said, come to the temple, have some prasad, the whole thing. So he did. Then they said, our spiritual master is out in Mayapur. We just got some land there. You should meet him. You should meet our spiritual master. Sure. So they take him out. Next time they go out to Mayapur, they bring him there. Prabhupada's sitting in that hut. If you go to Mayapur, that hut, they rebuilt it. It's right by the gate, where it used to be. Although now it's built as much. It's really nice. 24-hour kirtan going on. It's like a tirtha. Prabhupada used to live there. He had the back half, and then the devotees had the front half. And there was a curtain between them, so Prabhupada had some privacy. But at night, one of the devotees used to snore. It really disturbed Prabhupada. He said, who is snoring? No one would admit it. Anyway, that person who had to leave eventually and go back to Calcutta because... Anyway, one day Prabhupada's sitting in that place and the devotees come with this new boy. And Prabhupada looks and he sees them coming and he says to one of the devotees, here comes Radhamadava's Pujari. And he's been Pujari ever since. That new boy got in the shade, became Janani Das. And to this day, he's the head Pujari there. And that original Radhamadava is also there on the altar. They're this small. The giant deities are like 7 feet tall, so you might miss them if you look closely. There they are, the original Radhamadava. And when I came to Mayapur, they were the deities. They were the only deities. And at that time, the only temple was that Lotus building. It was the only temple in the whole place. Those were the days. So that's just to tell you that story about Radhamadava. I just thought to share that with you. Now we'll tell some individual stories about Prabhupada. Well, I like to tell this one. This is what I like to tell. Because Prabhupada had said that he knew the formula for the tonic of Krishna Prema, Trinanda Pisunichina, Tarodi Rasa Vishnu, Amani Namani Dena, Kirtani Sada, Krishna. So Prabhupada was the personification of that verse. So Trinanda Pisunichina means to be more humble than the greatest, more humble than the strongest tree. So there's so many pastimes that Prabhupada shows his humility. One of my favorites is this one. It was in 1972, Prabhupada had come to New York. He hadn't been in America for about 9 or 10 months. And there was a lot of devotees who were waiting to get initiated. So everybody from the East Coast, from Miami all the way up, and from Canada all the way down to New York, converged there. And there were so many devotees that Prabhupada had 6 days in a row of initiation. Couldn't do it all at once because you have to each one give them their name, ask them the 4 regular principles. So he did it in batches. 6 days, 6 batches of devotees. Well over 100, 150, something like that. Then when that whole week was over, then he gave classes and then walks and all that. Then he was ready to leave, so he drove to the airport. However, devotees were, especially the new devotees that just got initiated and had their names and everything, They hated to see Prabhupada go, so they all followed to the airport. So there were about 100 devotees now in the airport, and Prabhupada sitting in the departure lounge after checking in, waiting to board the flight. All the devotees are there, sitting around, and he's giving a darshan. So then one of the airport personnel comes up to Ravindra Sarup and says, I appreciate that your people are here with their teacher, but we have passengers that need to board this flight, and there's no room for them to come into the departure lounge because all your people are here, so, we appreciate it if you kindly ask them to leave. So Ravindra said, yeah, you're right. So he started talking to a few devotees who should all go now, but no one was paying any attention to him. They just looked at him like, are you crazy? Leave Prabhupada here? So then he realized, I don't have the Shakti to do this service. So there was one sannyasi at that time, his name was Rupanuga, and he was a strong person. So he thought, Rupanuga is the one to do this service. So he went to Rupanuga and he told him the situation. Rupanuga said, okay, no problem, I can handle this. So he got up on one of the seats and he said, okay, attention all devotees, attention all devotees. Everybody now has to get up. Jai Shri So everybody has to get up and leave the departure lounge so that the passengers around this plane can come in. And everybody just sat there. Only one devotee got up. Everybody just sat there and looked at him like, are you nuts? Only one devotee got up to leave. That was Prabhupada. Prabhupada got up to leave. He was so humble. He heard that the devotees had to get up to leave. He figured, well, I'm a devotee, so he got up to leave. Rupanuga said, no, sure, Baba, not you, not you. Everybody else. Prabhupada was so humble. So that was that wonderful pastime. Trinada Pisanichina, so humble. And then Taroriva Sahishnana, more tolerant than the tree. So humility and tolerance, those are the two most important qualities. So Prabhupada's tolerance was exhibited when they were trying to get him to come to South Africa. For years and years, the South African devotees were trying to get him a visa, but they couldn't because of apartheid. Finally, the Indians, and the devotees made such a big push that Prabhupada was granted a one-week visa to come to South Africa. So on that trip, he visited Nairobi and Mauritius. So he was in Mauritius, and he went to Kenya, Nairobi. And then on the flight from Nairobi to Johannesburg, the South African football team was on the flight. They had just had a match, and now they're going home, Joburg. I guess they won, because they were in a jovial mood. As soon as the plane took off, in those days they had non-smoking compartments and smoking. So Prabhupada was sitting in the non-smoking compartment with his secretary, Pushta Krishna Swami, who would come up from Johannesburg to meet him and to bring him back to South Africa. But as soon as the plane took off, some of the footballers who were in that cabin lit up, started smoking. They were sitting near Prabhupada. So Pushta Krishna got really upset. These people are, first of all, they shouldn't be smoking now. That it's very upsetting to Prabhupada is to smell the smoke. So he pressed the button, the buzzer, and the air hostess came and he explained that this is a non-smoking and they're smoking. She said yes. Asked them to extinguish their cigarettes, so they did. And then they came down with the trolley for drinks. So these guys are drinking away, and after about half an hour, they start lighting up again. Now they're drinking and lighting up, and they're talking, they're really loud, and Pushta Krishna is getting upset because he's feeling that Prabhupada's really being disturbed. So he figures, I gotta say something to these people. It's gonna get heavy. So he gets up. Prabhupada said, where are you going? And he said, well, they're smoking, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, sit down. Then he looked him right in the eye and he said, what is the difference between them and us if we cannot tolerate? See, Prabhupada wasn't disturbed. Krishna was totally disturbed the whole time. Prabhupada said, what is the difference between us and them? If we cannot tolerate, then we're at the same level. So Prabhupada wasn't at all disturbed. Very tolerant, more tolerant than the tree. And he taught that lesson, that if we're not tolerant, then what is the difference between us and them? We're thinking we're on a higher platform. Same level. Then Amadinam Anadena. Prabhupada wasn't seeking any honor for himself, but he wanted to give all honor and respect to others. This is one of my favorite Prabhupada remembrances. This was in Bombay in early 1976. I had come there late 1975, so I was only there a couple of